This is an MCAT physics question associated with a passage. So let's go through it. Imagine that the experiment described in the passage was changed so that the existing plane mirror remained on the table, but that another plane mirror was placed next to and touching the existing plane mirror such that both mirrors formed a right angle to each other. The unopened soda can was repositioned and placed 4 inches away from both mirrors in front of the junction where both mirrors meet. How many images of the soda can would an observer most likely see when viewing the mirrors in this experiment? Assume the observer is eye level with the table. So when you do this question, you would not have access to this figure. I've placed this figure here so that we can go through the question. So in this figure, you could see 2 mirrors that are at a right angle or 90 degrees to each other. And then you have the object here, which is a face, a head. One of the things that's helpful to think about is the law of reflection, which states that the angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection. So as an example, if we took a point, and this is a ray diagram from the top of the object's head, and it strikes the mirror, these are plane mirrors, flat mirrors, we would first of all have a normal line, which I'm drawing in here, and you would have 2 angles, the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection, which would be equal to each other. So when you start to draw these ray diagrams, you start to see that there would in fact be 3 images that could be formed. So C is the best answer. Now, how would this be? Well, if you look from the starting point of the object, if you look in mirror 1, this is what the person would see. You would see image 1. If the person looked at the mirror 2, they would see image 2. So we have image 1, image 2. That's pretty straightforward. However, the fact that both these plane mirrors are at 90 degrees to each other means that if we had some light rays, they would strike the mirror here, mirror 1. So here's the point that I'm referring to. Then they would strike mirror 2, and they would reflect back. And if you work backwards, okay, and you also did this coming in with another ray and did sort of the same thing. So we're looking at this point here and then this point here, okay, and it would reflect back, and you work backwards, okay, we would see that at this point we would have a 3rd image. And it's important to note, we're assuming that the observer is eye level with the table. And in this photograph, you could sort of see the experiment. You could see the object, and you could see that there's image 1 that's formed, image 2 that's formed, and also a 3rd image, which is called image 1, 2, but that's the 3rd image in this photograph. None of the other choices would be correct.